Hey guys, good morning. Hopefully you're all doing great. So this is our review, Form B. So what does that mean? That means that there's a test. But lucky for you guys, we were supposed to go on a field trip to the Hogle Zoo. So on Friday, instead of taking the test, we'll pump that to Monday. But Friday you'll be going watching some zoo videos and just emailing me some questions and some answers. So enjoy Friday going and visiting things at the Hogle Zoo. All right, first things first is to make sure you have a paper that's folded into eighths, and in the first box, your name is written in there, okay? So number one, select all the measurements that are equivalent to 84 grams. Well, there is that word all. So we want to find out which one will be equivalent to 84 grams. Okay, so I'm just writing this down. A is 0.084 kilograms. B is 0.84 kilograms. You should be writing this down on your paper along with me. Centigrams, 8,400 milligrams. Milligrams. And 84,000 milligrams. Okay, so I'm going to come here. I've got that written down. My kids are outside playing, so you'll probably hear them. Okay, so 84 grams. So we're going kilograms. So what's the thing we ask? Large to small, small to large. We're going large, or no, we could go this way. Large to small, so we would go three steps, right? Kilograms. So 1, 2, we move it. We're going to move it 1, 2, 3 because we're timesing by 1,000. Okay, does that give us, what does that give us? 84 grams. So that one is a yes. Okay, so we automatically know that that one's wrong because it's 84 kilograms. Okay, centigrams. Well, if we've got the base here, which is our grams, by drinking chocolate milk. Drinking chocolate milk. So right here is the centigrams. So we're going down, we're timesing or dividing by 100. Okay. So if we times by 100, because we're going large to small, times 100, we would have 84 and 2 zeros. Is that 840 centigrams? Nope, that's not it. Okay, milligrams. So we're going now, we're going down 3 steps. So we're either going to times, multiply, or divide by 1,000. Well, we're going large to small, so we know we're multiplying. So we're going to do 84, we'll do it down here, times 1,000. So we're moving our decimal right 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Let me do it down here so we can see 1, 2, 3. We're going to annex those zeros. So does that give us 8,400 milligrams? No, it does not. Does that give us 84,000 milligrams? Yes, it does. So it looks like A and E are our answers for that one. Okay, number 2. Martin is using a mall service that has a weight limit of 13 ounces. His envelope weighs 3/4 of a pound. Is Martin's envelope within the weight limit? So what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to change one of these either into ounces or into pounds. Well, which one's the easiest way? And when we have 3/4 of a pound, we want to make that a decimal. So we can make that 3 divided by 4. Okay, we can't do that, so we're going to add a decimal and a 0. So 30 divided by 4 is 7. 7 times 4 is 28. And we're going to annex another 0. 20 divided by 4 is 5. Okay. And so we know that 3/4 is 0.75 pounds. Okay. So what do we want to do? We want to do 13 ounces into pounds, or let's do 13 ounces into equals how many pounds? Okay, so large to small, small to large. We're going small to large, so fly to, do we want to do that? Or do we want to do it the other way? Let's go 0.75 pounds equals how many ounces? Because that's going to give us horse to fly multiply. So we would multiply 75 times, well, how many ounces are in a pound? Times 16. So let's hurry and do that. So 30, 42, 45, a 0 to hold the place value. 5 times 1 is 5, and 7. So 5 plus 5 is 0, 10. Carry the 1. 4 plus 5, or 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 7 is 5, 7, 12, and this is 0.75. So how many numbers are behind the decimal? 2, 1, 2. So 75 hundredths equals 12 ounces. So this actually equals 12 ounces. So let's go back. We know that the pounds is 12 ounces. So let's go back and see what it says. Martin is using a mail service that has a weight limit of 12 ounces. His envelope weighs 3/4 a pound, which is 12 ounces. Is Martin's envelope within the weight limit? No, it weighs 2 ounces more. Well, we know that's not right. We know it weighs 1 ounce less, right? No, it weighs 3 ounces more. Yes, it weighs 1 ounce less than the limit. Or yes, it weighs 4 ounces less. Well, 13 minus 12 is 1 ounce. So C is our answer. Okay, number 3. The table shows the distances 4 students live from the school. So Eric is 2.1 kilometers. Kevin, I'm going to put an E, a K, 2,150 meters. Linda is 2.75 kilometers. And Sue is 2,700 meters. It says, who lives the closest to the school? Well, we want to decide. Let's go back here. We want to decide which one's easier. Horse to fly, large to small, multiply. So we probably want to go kilometers to meters. Does everybody? So I want to say 2.1 kilometers equals how many meters? And 2.75 kilometers equals how many meters? Okay, so we know that with our steps, we've got King Henry died by. And our by is our basic unit, and king is there. So what are we going to multiply by? 10 times 10, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to multiply by 1,000. Okay, so what do I do to multiply 2.1 times 1,000? I move my decimal 3 times to the right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So 2.1 equals 2,100 meters. Same with this one. 1, 2, 3. Annex 0. So this one equals 2,750 meters. Okay, so now we can come back, and Eric is 2,100 meters. And the L, I don't remember who the L name was, is this one. Okay, let's go back here and see what it asks. Okay, who lives the closest to the school? So that's going to be the person that has the distance that is the shortest. Well, Eric lives 2,100 meters from the school. Kevin lives 2,150 meters from the school. Linda lives 2,750 meters from the school. And Sue lives 2,700 meters. So Eric and Kevin are close. They're only about 50 meters apart, but we know that Eric at 2,100 meters is the closest to the school. So A is your answer. Okay, you should be following along and writing this on your paper because I'm going to require you to email me this paper to show me the work that you're just not getting the answers from here. Okay, a plane burns 20 quarts of fuel for every mile traveled. How many gallons of fuel does the plane burn in 5 miles? Okay, so first thing, for every mile, it burns 20 quarts of fuel. So when we have to find out the 5 miles, what are we going to do first? The first thing we need to do is, where am I going here? is we need to do 20 times 5 because it burns 20 quarts every mile and we're going 5 miles. So 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 2 is 10. So it burns 100 quarts in 5 miles. But they want us to know how many quarts or how many gallons it burns in that 5 miles. Okay, so if we have our gallon chart that we can quickly draw, okay, and our question that we don't have to do anything more because we're going quarts to gallons. So our question is large to small, small to large. Well, we're going small to large, so fly to horse, divide, of course, right? So we're going to divide 100 divided by, well, how many quarts are in a gallon? There's 4 quarts in a gallon. So now to find out what that is, we do 100 divided by 4. Okay, so knock, knock, knock. We're going to have 2 digits in our quotient. 10 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 10 minus 2 is, or 10 minus 8 is 2. Then we bring down the 0. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20. So it looks like 100 quarts equals 25 gallons. So let's go back here. And it says, how many gallons of fuel does the plane burn in 5 miles? And there it is right there, 25 quarts. Awesome. Okay. The next one says, place an X in the table to show whether each equation is true or false. So 708 kiloliters equals 0.708 liters. 4.5 meters equals 45,000 millimeters. And 9,100 centigrams equals 91 grams. All right, let's go through. We're going to have to figure out each one of these, okay? So the first thing, we're going kiloliters to liters. Large to small, small to large. What are we doing? Large to small. Horse to fly, multiply. Well, the same thing, that's right back here. This would be kiloliters, this would be liters. So what are we doing going kiloliters to liters? We're multiplying by 1,000, okay? So we've got to take, if we're going liters to kiloliters, let's think. No, we're multiplying this by 1,000. Okay, so how do I do that? 1, I'm going to go 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. So does that 0.70? No, that's not true. So we're going to write false on our first one. Okay, meters to millimeters. Where did we do that one? I know we did that somewhere right here. Okay, here's our base, which is our meters, and we're going to millimeters. So 1, 2, 3. So we're either going to multiply by 1,000 or divide by 1,000. Well, let's ask our question. Large to small, small to large. We're going large to small. So horse to fly, multiply. So we need to times 4.5 times 1,000. Well, I can come down here and I'm going to move my decimal 3 to the right, right? So 1, 2, 3, annex 2 zeros. So now I have 4,500. Is that the same as 45,000? It is not. So this one is also false. Okay, centigrams to grams. So here would be our centigrams, and we're going up to grams. So we're either going to go 1, 2. So we're either going to multiply by 100 or divide by 100. So we ask ourselves, large to small, small to large. Well, we're going this time small to large, right? So fly to horse, divide, of course. So we're going to divide 9,100 by, how many steps did we go up? By 100. So we're going to move our decimal what? 2 times to the left. So 1, 2. There's where our decimal gets. So what did we get? So 9,100 divided by 100 equals 91. So is that correct? Yes, that one is true. Okay? So all we're doing is just converting, and because it's base 10 numbers, it's super easy. All you got to know is, are we going to multiply or divide and then move our decimal that way? All right, complete the table. So 1/4 mile, I'm just quickly jotting this down, yards, feet, inches. Okay. All right. So the first thing again, it's in a fraction, and we need to make it into a decimal. Now, just like we made 3/4 into a decimal, look at that, 75. Is there something that we know that can help us in fourths decimals? Quarters, right? Quarters in a dollar. So 3/4 of a dollar or 3/4 of a dollar is 75 cents. So what would 1/4 of a dollar be, or 1/4? It's 25 cents. So we know that it's 25 hundredths of a mile equals how many yards? Okay, and we'll start with this one right here. Okay, so first thing we ask, large to small, small to large. We're going small to large. Fly to horse, divide, of course. Okay. So, what number are we on? 6? Oh, but what's our problem right now? It's 1/4 of a mile. Well, what is 1/4 of a mile? Is that the easiest way we want to do it? Because it's not 1 mile. So this would be if we were just doing 1 mile. So we've got to find out what 1/4 of a mile is first. Does anyone remember what our saying was for a mile? How many feet is in a mile? Do we know? Well, we know it's what? What's our saying? 5 tomatoes is a feet, okay? But if we're finding out what 1/4 of it is, 1/4 of 5280 of tells us to do what? Multiply. So we're going to multiply straight across over 4. Well, what does that tell us we need to do? This is going to take 2, I think, squares. We're going to divide, right? So subtract, bring down the 12, 3, 12, bring down the 8, 2, 2 times 4 is 8, bring down the 0, so am I done? Nope, I brought something down, so it's 0. Okay, so right there, that's 1/4 of a mile in feet. Well, guess what we just solved? Right here. 1,320 feet is 1/4 of a mile. Now we can take this and change it into yards and inches. So I'm going to say 1,320 feet equals how many yards? And 1,320 feet equals how many inches? Okay? All right, so this one again, large to small, small to large. We're doing small to large, fly to horse. We divide, of course. Well, how many feet are in a yard? And your answer is 3, right? 3 feet equals a yard. So I'm going to come down here and divide this by 3. 13 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract, bring down the 2. 12 divided by 3 is 4 again. 4 times 4 is 12. Bring down your 0. Are we done? Nope, we brought something down. So 0 divided by 3 is 0. Now we are done. So 1,320 feet equals 440 yards. So we're going to put 440 yards right there. Okay, now we're going feet to inches. large to small, right? So horse to fly, multiply. So how many inches are in a foot? Oh, this is going to give us a big problem. There are 12 inches in a foot. So now we need to multiply by 12. Okay, 2 times 0, 0. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. A 0 to hold the place value. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. So 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus 0 is 4. 6 plus 2 is 8. 2 plus 3 is 5. Oops. And 1 plus 0 is 1. Okay, so how many inches are in 1/4 of a mile? 15,840 inches. Okay, so first thing we needed to do was find out what 1/4. When I started, I was saying that this was just 1 mile, but that's not true. It was 1/4 of a mile, so that's why we needed to find out what 1/4 of a mile was in feet. Okay, awesome. Okay, number 7. A pencil measures 187 millimeters long. A marker measures 13.8 centimeters long. What is true about the lengths of the pencil and marker? The blank measures blank millimeters longer. Okay, so we know our answer needs to be in millimeters. So we probably need to change 13.8 centimeters equals how many millimeters? Okay, so again, let's go back here. Here would be centimeters. We're going down to millimeters. So something, we're either going to multiply or divide by 10. So let's ask our question, large to small, small to large. Well, we're going large to small, horse to fly, large to small, horse to fly, multiply. So we're multiplying by, there's 10 millimeters in a centimeter, okay? So we know that we're going to move our decimal once to the right. So this gives us 138 millimeters. But our question asks what was the difference, right? So let's go back here again. It says the millimeters longer. So we got to say who is longer? Well, we know that the marker is 138 millimeters and the pencil. So the pencil measures this much longer. So we've got to go figure that out. How are we going to find out how much longer? We subtract. Okay, can we take 8 from 7? We cannot. 17 minus 8 is 9. 7 minus 3 is 4. Okay, so we know that the pencil measures 49 millimeters longer. Awesome. Okay, number 8, Diego used 5.5 quarts of water to give his dog a bath. He used 6 pints of water to wash his bicycle. I better put dog, bicycle. How many more pints of water did Diego use to give his dog a bath? So we know that how many more tells us what? We're going to have to subtract. But we've got to change this quarts into pints because it asks us how many more pints. Okay, so coming back here, we need to make 5.5 quarts equals how many pints? Well, we can't leave this in 5.5 quarts. So what do we need to do? We need to change it into a mixed number. So 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus 1, or 10 plus 1 is 11 halves equals, okay, ask our questions, large to small, small to large. Quarts to pints is large to small, right? So horse to fly, multiply. So 11 halves. So here's our gallon again. Let's get our gallon real quick. We just need to do quarts, and there's 2 pints in each quart. So we're going to multiply by 2, right? So Can we cross cancel anywhere? Yep, we can cross cancel right there. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So now we have 11 times 1 is 11, and 1 times 1 is 1. And 11, anything over 1 is the whole number, so it equals 11 pints. Now remember, that's not what they asked us. They wanted to find out how much more let's come back. How many more pints of water did Diego use to give his dog a bath? Well, he used 11 pints to bathe his dog, and he used 6 pints on his bicycle. So 11 minus 6 equals 5 pints. Now, on this answer, only write a 5. There's no label on it, so you just write a 5. Okay, number 9. Aria uses 4 1/4 pounds of potatoes, 12 ounces of onions, 18 ounces of carrots to make soup. How many pounds of vegetables did Aria use to make the soup? Okay, so it looks like we are going to have to change. Uh-oh, what are we doing? Don't do that. We're going to have to change these ounces into pounds, or we could change the pounds into ounces and then have to change back. So I think let's do 12 ounces. I don't know why I'm doing that. Equals how many pounds? Okay. And 18 ounces equals how many pounds? Okay, so question is asked, large to small, small to large. And we are going ounces to pounds, we're going small to large. So fly to horse, divide, of course. Oh boy. So 12 divided by, well, how many pounds or how many ounces are in a pound? 16. So let's go 12 divided by 16. Well, we can't do that, right? So we have to, I don't know if we want to do this into a decimal though. Wonder if it'd be easier to change it all into ounces and then change it back. I'm thinking that's probably our best bet. Then we would just have to change this into ounces and then add it all up and then change it back. Let's do that. So let's do 4 1/4 pounds equals how many ounces? So we've got to change this. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 1. So we've got 17 fourths. And then we ask our question, large to small, small to large. Now we're going large to small, horse to fly. So now we're going to multiply. What are we going to times by? How many ounces in a pound? 16. So we're going to do 16 over 1. Okay. Can we cross cancel? We sure can right there. 4 and 16. 4 divided by 4 is 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So now 17 times 4, 4 times 7 is 28, carry the 2, 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So 4 1/2 pounds equals 68 ounces. Okay, so now we can just add up all our ounces. So 68 plus 12 plus 18. Well, 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 8 is 18, carry our 1. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus well, let's go 7, 8, 9. So our whole soup weighs 98 ounces. Now let's come back over here. 98 ounces equals how many pounds? Okay, so 98, large to small, small to large. We're going small to large, so fly to horse, divide, of course. So how many ounces? So now we're dividing by 16. Now I'm going to give you a hint here, and I will give you hints on the test tomorrow too. This answer needs to be in a fraction. So we're going to come over here, 98 divided by 16. Oh, gives us about, let's see, let's try 6. So 6 times 16 is 36, 96. Look at that right there. So 6 times 16 is 96, subtract, which gives us 2/16. Can we leave that in? It is not. They're both even numbers. So what can both be divided by? 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So we have 6 1/8 pounds. There is no label on that one either, just 6 1/8. Hey, ooh, that was a multi-step one for sure. Okay, Paige bought a 1.5 liter bottle of apple juice. How many milliliters of apple juice did she buy? So all we have to do on this one is take liters equals how many milliliters. Is that right? I gotta check real quick so I don't. Yep, milliliters. Okay, what do we ask? Large to small, small to large, right? Okay, so liters to milliliters, we're going large to small. So horse to fly, multiply. Times, okay, let me come back over here. There's our liters to milliliters. 1, 2, 3. So what are we going to multiply by? Do not say 3. We're multiplying by 1, 2, 3 zeros. So we're multiplying by 1,000. Well, I know my answer is going to get larger, right? So we're going to move our decimal 3 times to the right. So 1, 2, 3. What do I put in those spaces? I put in zeros. So 1.5 liters equals 1,500 milliliters. Hey, 2 more. A pine tree stands 94 feet tall. Let me write that down. A maple tree stands 792 inches tall. Okay, how many feet taller is the pine tree than the maple tree? So how many feet taller means we're going to subtract, and it's in feet. So we probably want to change the 792 inches into feet. Okay, so 792 inches equals how many feet? Okay, large to small, small to large. Well, we're going small to large. Fly to horse, divide, of course. So how many inches are in a foot? There are 12. Okay, so we're going to do 792 divided by 12. Well, here's our first one. We're going to have 2 digits in our quotient. Let's see. 79. Well, I know 12 times 7 is 84, so that's too big, right? So 12 times 6 is 72. So we subtract that. 9 minus 2 is 7. Bring down the 2. Yes, right there. 12 divided 72. So we know that's a 6. So we know this is 66 feet. Well, how much taller tells us to do what? We need to subtract. Minus 66. We can't take 6 from 4. 14 minus 6 is 8, and 8 minus 6 is 2. So it is 28. The pine tree is 28 feet taller. All right, last one. It's got a two-parter though. A scientist collected 3 soil samples for a science project as shown in the table below. Okay, write the samples in the correct order from heaviest to lightest. Well, we already know that these 2 are in grams, so our best bet is to change this one into grams so that we don't have to change those 2 into milligrams just to see what it's compared. But let's see. Pile of grams. Yep, so it wants this in grams anyway. So let's do 720 milligrams equals how many grams? Okay, so 720 milligrams, large to small, small to large. We're going small to large. Fly to horse, divide, of course. Okay, so milligrams to grams. Let's come back here. Here's our grams. Milligrams is right there. 1, 2, 3. So we're dividing by what? We're dividing by 1,000. Well, we know when we divide, it goes left to right, or it gets smaller, so we're going to move our decimal to the left. 1, 2, 3. So 720 grams equals 720 thousandths of a gram. Okay, so now we can compare. This is what I'm going to do. Sample A is 714. I'm going to just line these up so we know. And sample C is 700. Oops, I didn't quite line that up good enough, but we'll just look at that real quick. Okay, so here we go. We don't know what this is. And we are going, we're going what? Heaviest to lightest. So the largest to smallest, right? Because the heaviest is going to weigh more. So what's our heaviest one? C. And then what? Which one? Which one's heavier? A or B? A and then B. So cab is our answer for the first part. Let's go see what it asks for the second part. The scientists divide sample C into 6 equal piles. What is the mass of one pile of soil in grams? Well, luckily we already did what? We already changed it into grams. So now he divides it into 6 even piles. So we're going to divide by 6. Okay, so 7 divided by 6. Remember, we're just going to ignore the decimal and then we'll move our decimal at the end. 7 divided by 6 is 1. 1 times 6 is 6. Bring down the 12. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 2 times 12. Bring down the 0. Okay. So there is what each of that sample would, in each pile would weigh. Okay. And in the answers, it looks like this. So if you put that as the answer, that will be it. All right, guys. Hey, that was it. It's a lot of work to convert, but if you do ask the questions large to small, draw your picture. See how many times I drew pictures to remind ourselves. Okay. If you want to start out drawing the steps before the test and drawing the gallon chart, I would suggest doing that so that you have that reference page. Okay, remember to take a picture of this that you showed your work and email it to me today. Have a great day, guys. See ya.